From the Ticats Audio Network, this is Ticats Today with Braden Neville.
On today's episode, we hear from Casey Sayles as we discuss his newly signed deal that'll keep him in the hammer for 2 more seasons. And we also hear from Ed Hervey as he discusses free agency and how the process has gone so far in his first offseason as the Ticats general manager. It's Monday, February 12th, 2024, and this is Ticats Today. We're now only 2 days away from free agency on the 14th, and fans are anxiously waiting to see what their rosters are going to look like for next season. The Ticats did manage to bring back some key pieces to their defense, re-signing Richard Leonard, which will be a big boost to the Ticats secondary that's shaping out already pretty nicely. And they also extended Casey Sayles for 2 more years, a guy who was arguably one of, if not their best defensive player last season, finishing with 50 tackles, 7 sacks, and was always a favorite on the PFF ranking chart, and also captured his first All-Star nod. So it was a no-brainer to lock him up for a couple more years, and he joined me to discuss the deal. Casey, congrats on the extension. What was it that got this deal done at this point in time and to get it done going into the season?
During the exit meetings during this last year after our playoff loss, we kind of had that discussion with myself and some of the GMs and coaches about possible extension, but there wasn't really a second thought when we had these conversations. Sometimes you got to think about kind of yourself or kind of the situation within the CFL or just kind of overall, right? But it's not really a situation I thought twice about. Me and my wife loved it up there this last year. Obviously, everything worked out for me personally, being an all-star and everything. But obviously, the end goal is still get that Grey Cup. So I still want to bring that back to Hamilton, and can't be more excited to come back. So.
How was the process of dealing with Ed Hervey? He's the new GM now for the Ticats. How was that process for you?
It was good. Obviously he got promoted this last spring, a month or 2 ago. But we had a good exit interview. Obviously knew of him from last year, obviously being signed and everything. But he's a great guy. Had some great combos, and even talking this last few days with him after being signed, he expects a lot more of me. Leadership wise and everything, not just playing wise. So that's going to be probably the biggest next step going into camp this year. So obviously I thought leading the D line this last year went pretty well, but it was tough to kind of get that role and grasp of those other guys on the team that we had a lot of new younger guys too as well. So that's just another step that I have to take going into camp this year, and that's just one thing, one step at a time that kind of got to take to lead the team this year and get to that last game of the year.
Do you feel that leadership role is something that you want to take on, like you want to step up more as a leader for this team?
Yeah, it's not only leading by obviously explanation of playing wise, but just having those little talks with little guys. It takes so much in the locker room to go out onto the field and be able to play together and communicate together. It's basically just a trust factor, right? So if you can trust that guy next to you, the guy in front of you, the guy behind you and everything, it's going to go so much further than just being a friend, being a teammate. So it's just little things at a time that really builds up starting with camp, even before camp. Like I said, kind of contact some of these guys and kind of going from there. But obviously it's a long season, so there's going to be some growing pains during camp and preseason going into the season. But if we can kind of whisk those away, obviously I think we started 0-3 this last year. If we can even grab 1 or 2 of those first 3 games, that's so big for the long run going into the season.
I do like how that schedule looks. I think you should want to play anyone, but I do like how the season starts off for this team. I want to talk a little bit about a couple of these new guys coming in. Jordan Williams, he's going to be playing behind you, but what have you seen from him and playing against him while he was with Toronto?
Yeah, I know I knew he was a first round pick. Was it 2 years ago to BC? Saw him out last year or 2 before he went to Toronto, but he's a good player. It's just one of those things that some guys were kind of saying that he maybe didn't have his best year last year, but when you have that many guys around you, when he was at the Argos, it's tough to make all those plays, right? So those D linemen and linebackers were so good for them that he might not get all those plays, right? So he's a really good player from what I've seen on film. Watch a lot of the defense from the Argos this last year. So I'm excited to play with him, and obviously some of these new guys that are coming in. So
Coach Washington will be back next year. He'll be your defensive coordinator. What's that relationship like with Wash and being around him, especially in that first season with the Ticats?
it was good. We had I thought we had a good season. He's a great communicator to me.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's a little bit older, but he's still got that young factor to him, right? I mean, not old at all. I don't want him to
don't want to age him.
Give me a text, but he's been around. Obviously, he was a player, back in the day and played in the CFL. So he's got that good mentality to him and joke around and everything. So it's good to have that relationship with him, and it's an easy relationship to have with them. So we had a good exit meeting. I was kind of taking my time to leave the stadium this last year, but we had a good conversation for a long while, and I didn't know if he was going to be back or not. Obviously, didn't know the whole process, what was going to happen. Obviously, the expectations are so high for Hamilton, especially last Grey Cup in '99. So I didn't know how that process was going to pan out, obviously, but glad he's back and glad we have that main kind of tree root there, right? So kind of just branched out from there, and obviously some new defensive coaches, secondary linebackers and D-line. So can't wait to kind of branch out with them. And we had that main route there that has ties in with the community and everything and the team. So I'm excited to get going again with them.
And one of those coaches, that D-line coach, will be Glenn Young. Is it nice to have a new coach almost for a different perspective almost on things?
Yeah, it's every coach that I've been with last 7-8 years, whatever, professionally. It's good to grasp a good handle 50-50 on what you're good at and kind of what they bring to the table too. There's each team I've been on, I've learned different techniques and different play style from each of them. So it'll just be another perspective to learn from his side of stuff. Obviously, he's been around, and he was leaving Winnipeg right when I was getting in. But those guys at Winnipeg, when I was there, I just had Jake Thomas from Winnipeg texted me a week or two ago, and he's talking about Glenn Young. So I'm excited to get going. I know he's a good guy and a good coach. So.
And I want to talk about another guy who re-signed today on that secondary, but Rich Leonard also announced today as re-signing. I wonder if you can just re-signing. What do you think about Rich coming back and being on that secondary? Such a dog out there on that defense.
That's awesome. I thought he should have been all-star this last year. It's that's a tough way to go sometimes, but I know how it is. But he's an animal out there. Every ball that he's out there with, I trust him, man. He's a good guy. We were just a few lockers away from each other, and I can't say great enough things about him. So I'm pretty pumped about that. That's the first time I heard about that.
I'm breaking the news here too.
I was on Twitter too. Read some stuff on kind of some guys signing. So that's awesome.
You signing this deal really shows that you're dedicated to Hamilton. This is a place you want to be. Is this a place you can see yourself playing out possibly your career? I know we're looking deep into the future, but is this a place you see yourself for a long time, even maybe one day past that contract?
Yeah, it's definitely an option. It's definitely a thing I think of every year, and it's another thing I thought about this year. It's I think the fact that it's not a thing I thought twice about definitely shows something. I mean, the fans there are great. I mean, everything was phenomenal. I couldn't ask for more in the city of Hamilton. So all the fans there. I mean, there's multiple times in the grocery store, people come up to me and talk to me about the fans or the games, everything going on. So it's tough to find those things in certain cities, especially the bigger cities. And I mean, if I could play till Chris Van Zyl, 40 years old, in Hamilton, I wouldn't be mad about it. So I mean, I guess we'll see. Obviously, you got to stay healthy. That's the number one thing, and stay on the field. So just taking a year at a time right now. So.
I'm looking a little deep into the future here. Let's worry about this next couple of years. But last time we talked, it was right before the holidays. I believe you were getting ready for the big dinner. Since then, what does training look like for you? How has it been the last couple months here in this off season?
Yeah, just kind of taking it easy. Thankfully didn't have any major issues last year. Obviously some bruise and nicks and everything. But right now, just kind of been lifting low cardio, low impact cardio stuff. Really don't start jumping into on-field running until kind of about next month. This is kind of, obviously I know my body, and I know there's a lot of guys that do kind of on-field running, into the off season, after the season, but I like to take as much time as I can, at least kind of have an idea of kind of going into that, but I've already kind of got a process that I do in the off season, especially now that I know the CFL schedule and everything. It's not like NFL where you have OTAs and mini camps going into summer where you have a 3-month window and then 3 or 4 weeks off before camp. So it's really just kind of taking that time off that, I try and tell guys to take that time off too, because just mentally and everything, it's such a long season. It's another game longer than the NFL. You got 2 preseason games in there, and it's just for the reason. And two, it's main thing of camp. We don't have the NFL camp where you have after every 5 days you have off. We have a stretch of 10, 11, 12 days that you really have to put it out. And a lot of those guys that don't make teams. I remember even my second year at Winnipeg, got a tweak in my foot, and had an idea that I was going to start, but still stressing out about. I think I still missed a week. I missed 2 games during the preseason, but again, that's just like a mindset that I have of I don't want to get hurt. I need to stay on the field as much as possible. But obviously that's the best thing that you need to do is like the best. When I was the Steelers, the coach there, best ability is availability, man. So you got to stay on the field, man. So that's the number one thing. You got to get that past that stretch of the 10, 11, 12 days during camps, during CFL, because that's kind of the main spot where you find your spot and, kind of go from there. But obviously those preseason games are going to be huge too. Some of the veterans, I don't know how much they're going to play. It depends on quarter 2, 3 quarters, but especially for those younger guys too, that come in or just been playing for the first time last year, or just like maybe going into the end of their rookie contract into their second year now. Again, health is just so major that you got to just take a little bit of a break in the off season. So it's not like you need to be sitting on your couch, not do anything, but you should know your body by now. So, whatever you think is best, you should probably go with your gut feeling. But
what do you think about going into a camp now with a new head coach and Scott Milanovich at the helm?
Yeah, it'll be different. Loved Coach O last year. Obviously, the changes are out of my control, but the way he talked last year throughout the year, I didn't talk to him too much. Obviously, he had his own things going on with quarterbacks and offensive stuff. But I roomed with Matthew Schultz, and he was kind of telling me, basically how he rolls and how he processes stuff. But I like the way. I mean, every time he talked, it's straight to the point. It's good mentality about everything. So I'm pretty excited to get going with him. Obviously, there's going to be some growing pains. Obviously, regardless, there's going to be new coaches, new players. So it's got to be a day at a time as you should. So, but yeah, so far I've liked the way he's kind of done stuff. So.
And one final question here, Casey. What do you got going on for the rest of the offseason outside of football?
I haven't been up to much. Really just working out kind of 4 days a week right now. I'm trying to work on a little bit of mobility. My wife and I got a Pilates machine. She did that. Those classes are really, really expensive, man. So we ended up the machines are a little expensive, but like for the long run of stuff, it's worth getting one. So kind of been doing that like 2-3 times a week, and really working on flexibility. I mean, I don't know what the age of like old players are, but like 30 is like
in football, definitely.
Right. So like I'm 28, I'll be 29 in September. So like I want to be as flexible as possible for as long as possible. So I don't think I'm at the point yet that I need to be dropping weight for flexibility and speed purposes, but I think it'll help just kind of lower body stuff, especially. But that's kind of about it. Just hanging with some friends and family. Was at our neighbors yesterday for the Chiefs game.
What a game!
Dynasty there, and I'm 3 hours from Kansas City too, so everyone around me is Chiefs fans. So it's crazy to see. I kind of wanted the 49ers to win that, but
I think a lot of people did. I think it was one of those things, but it was the script. I mean, I think that's what it was.
Twitter sweet.
Is your wife the one showing you how to do the Pilates stuff? Is she more the expert than you, or are you guys kind of learning together?
She's the expert. She knows what she's been doing. She's been doing it for I think about 2 years now. So we got a TV down there and in the basement where we have it, but kind of just been doing these like YouTube videos and just kind of going from there. But it's some of the stuff is hard, man. If you're,
I know it's crazy.
If you see a video of a 300-pound lineman doing it, they're shaking. I'm shaking doing like just core stuff. It's hard stuff. It's a different type of workout than just lifting and running, man. It's difficult.
Do you find it's making a difference at all? Like, you're noticing that
Oh,
already?
yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think just the stability wise, and like, I think it just helps your flexibility so much. It's so easy to do. Like, I mean, there's a million different parts to it that like you could add on, but like we just have the main kind of platform, have a few weights, have a few things that you kind of squeeze
Yeah.
while you're doing stuff. But there's just so many different movements that you can do that like you can't do from lifting and running, and just it's
Crazy.
I'm getting into it, but yeah, it's difficult. I know even last year, I've been trying to get into stretching and stuff a little bit more.
Mhm.
My career's kind of been progressing, but yeah, just kind of doing step by step with it. But it's fun. It's fun. It's difficult, like I said, but
We'll see you at training camp. You'll be as nimble as can be. You'll be flexible out there. It'll be great. We'll be excited to see it. But Casey, appreciate you joining me today, man. Congratulations once again on the extension, and we'll see you hopefully here soon at Tim Hortons Field, man.
yeah, I appreciate you again.
That was Casey Sayles. Big thanks to him for joining the show today, and congratulations once again on the new deal, sticking around in Hamilton for 2 more seasons. The guy making all these moves is GM Ed Hervey, and he sat down to talk about how free agency has gone so far and the process behind it.
The kind of players we're looking for, obviously we're looking for fast, durable, athletic players. The player portion goes without saying. I think the most important part of it is also understanding who they are as people, the character, how they fit within the organization. Are they a locker room fit? Will they be a community fit? Whether we don't have a relationship with them, just that opportunity to speak with them. A major part of it is to ensure that the character of the people that we're bringing in fit what we're doing moving forward.
That was GM Ed Hervey. You can watch that full interview on the Ticats social channels and YouTube. And for those of you listening to this podcast, you can now catch Ticats Today on YouTube as well. So make sure to go check that out. And finally, the Tiger Cats are looking for the next brand ambassadors to perform on game days and attend community events throughout the next season. So those auditions will be held on March 3rd at Tim Hortons Field. All you have to do is follow at Dance Cheer Ticats on Instagram for the most up-to-date information. That's all the time for today. Make sure to tune in tomorrow as I will be speaking to the newly re-signed Rich Leonard and more.